So ever since last week when I finished uploading my review for episode 1 of Just Because, I couldn't stop thinking of the anime all night. Like, even after I was done responding to comments, I was still thinking of the first episode, which I wasn't expecting. Like, I enjoyed it, as you can see with the review, but it was a series that the more I thought about it, the more I enjoyed it, and the more I wanted to watch episode 2. So the production delays did get to me this week here, because this episode came out rather late. Now, the company, I forget, it's like H-Dive or High-Dive, I forget the exact name of the company. But essentially, they announced on Twitter very early in the day that there was going to be some production delays. There's nothing that they could do about it, so both them, and obviously Amazon as well, were going to probably get the episode later than expected. Like, it did air in Japan as seemingly the same amount of time, just translation-wise, that was causing some issues. But Amazon didn't get it up until like 9 p.m. EST. Like, they took forever to get it up. It just goes to show they just don't care about getting this stuff done. As you can see with their social media, they don't even update it. They don't promote their stuff. They don't update their viewers on where their stuff is. I can at least say with this other company, they at least informed us, which I can appreciate. But episode 2 of Just Because was absolutely perfect to me. I thought this was an adorable episode. Now, high school series are typically not very good in the sense of, I don't think they accurately portray teenagers that well. I feel like they try to pander to wet dreams far more than they do to actually try to portray an actual high school character. So what I liked with this episode is we pretty much nearly start up the episode as episode 1 ends, where Soma, I believe is his name, is running off to confess to the girl that he loves, which after he hit that home run, it was like this was his sign. He needs to tell her how he feels, and ultimately it just becomes a jumble mess because he's a bundled mess of nerves, and ultimately he sees his friend, he sees this other girl, I think her name's like Natsume or something like that, and essentially as he's trying to confess his feelings, he ultimately invites all of them out to go to see the aquarium, which turns into a double date, which was never supposed to happen, and he's kind of beating himself up, and they're all kind of looking like, oh god, what's happening here? But I just found the episode to be very, very charming, but also pretty funny off and on, as she ultimately has to bring her siblings with her because her siblings are really into the aquarium, sharks, things like that, so she brings them with him, and he's feeling a little crushed off and on, and I loved how slowly the episode started off, where you kind of feel like, man, he's just crushed that his date didn't go as planned, but then you slowly see him bond with her siblings, where he's giving some of them piggyback rides, he's talking with them, and by the end of this double date, pretty much, they're just, like, so drawn into this guy that they're obviously seeing him as a big brother, and she's also really happy that he gets along well with kids, so even if he can't notice it, he's in the right ballpark right now, like the ball's in his court right now. And I just thought this episode did a really good job at accurately portraying that kind of nervousness, that, like, how the hell do I ask this girl on the date, but also just the awkwardness that comes with it, because, I mean, she's trying to, the girl that he asked out here, Soma that is, like, she's pretty much saying, like, oh, there's no way that he would ask me out as a date, like, there's obviously better choices, so she's thinking that's probably just for a friendship reason. Her sister is obviously saying, like, no, you idiot, of course he likes you, and he's just trying to get, like, some good marks in her books there, and I just loved how the relationship worked, but at the same time, with our main character here, he obviously, it's been confirmed that he had feelings for this other girl here, Natsume or whatever her name was, and essentially, obviously, he probably tried to bury those feelings, and now they're starting to resurface. So I feel like this series, depending on how large the cast is going to be, because with the way it ends, we have this photographer who pretty much just seems like drawn into our main character because he's the mysterious transfer student, so it's hard to say how large this cast truly is going to be. If they keep it into like a small, tight group, I think this will be a phenomenal series because you'll have these very personal but very real stories that are going to flourish beautifully, as we can see with the 4 characters within this episode, even more so if you include the siblings. And I just feel like it knows how to make it charming, it knows how to make it feel like these are real teenage characters with their own real issues, and I just thought it worked beautifully because of it, and even had me chuckling a couple of times in this episode. The production quality overall, like the character designs, are nothing to write home about, but there's something very charming about them. With how unrefined they are at times, it just makes it feel like it's trying to be different, and I can appreciate that. This just knows how to be sweet, and knows how to be charming, and knows how to make you invested, especially if you're into these sort of series. Obviously, if you're not into like high school romance series, this is not going to be for you. You can obviously tell us you're going to need to drop off of this. But anyone who's on board of real, kind of like something that's trying to feel real, try to feel believable, and have soul to it, I think we're all going to have a fantastic time with Just Because. I loved episode 2, dying to watch episode 3. I just can't stop thinking of this series. It's so good. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with all these relationships, if it's going to come to a happy ending or maybe a bittersweet ending. I'm just excited for more, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of episode 2, and how excited are you for episode 3? Let me know, and before I leave, smack that like button, share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.